spoilers. Oh boy.
Oh.
Oh no. Sorry. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. As usual.
Add audio source. Audio capture.
Microphone, and I should be hopefully audible now.
Yes. There we go.
It's yeah, it's a bit of a bug with when I was doing some updates. Okay. Now that that's fixed, back to what I was saying. Charlotte, you as you're coming to consciousness, injured but alive, you see a white rabbit in front of you with black patterns completely opposite to your own colors. And they say a simple phrase before vanishing. You have forgotten who you are. And with that, you all open your eyes and see the sights. The world is covered in a thick red mist, with strange structures that seem to almost be alive. In fact, you're standing on top of one of those structures right now. A small cliff-like platform that almost seems to be breathing underneath you. And in front of you stands Cricket, looking out over the landscape.
I guess that's our cue to do things.
Yep.
Well, you all. If you look behind, and you'll see Ryu standing next to a dark elf.
Oh yeah, there's.
Looks very irritated, slightly hurt, trying to help her from the last one they had. As she looks over, she glares. She goes, "Who the fuck are you?"
Hey, the dog. What? Oh, right. It's me.
Oh.
So you jumped in as well. Hmm?
And well, it was that or jump off the side at the tower, and Well, I probably could have survived the cold, actually, but I didn't feel like getting shot out of the sky. Well, air.
Oh god. Wow, we jumped in. It all happened so fast. I didn't stop. I didn't stop. I had a chance to take a good look at you. I think that's how you managed. That's how you managed to make it all the way up the tower.
That's how I got in the door. After that, I kind of just, well, 3 floors up, they figured out I was in disguise, so I kind of just had to run for it.
Well, I'm sure. Or everybody having. I'm sure it helped that everybody had their attention on me and Cicada.
Yes.
Speaking of
Now,
cicada.
now
Sorry.
on that note, just where in the world are we?
Cicada.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
sorry,
Actually,
Cicada is currently busy with
no,
Jezebel and Charlotte.
no, not cicada. I meant cricket. Is this your true form? This whole place.
Cricket looks back and just says, no,
So we're not standing on the black sun.
no.
Hmm.
Regardless, I'm going to take us over to Charlotte and Cicada and all that.
Charlotte, Cicada, and Jezebel. What
Yes.
Cicada is doing is that she looks very distraught and goes directly over to Jezebel and Charlotte and brings them both into a hug, and she's crying. And she's saying, "I'm sorry." Over and over.
Isabel went to just a bit, still a little bit hurt from taking on the attacks before, but she deflates a bit. She's really irritated, don't get me wrong, but she deflates just a little bit seeing how distressed the kid is, and she gives her as much of a hug as she can, and she goes, there, dear, there, please stop crying.
Charlotte looks like she was thinking of something else at the time when she woken up. And then seeing Cicada suddenly wrap her wings around her and Jezebel, she pauses and in her injuries, because she did manage to survive and she got healed, I'm assuming. She she rests a paw on Cicada's back as well, just silently.
Jezebel glances over to Charlotte and then looks past Cicada as she rubs the top of her head and she says, this is your fault. You had nothing to apologize for. I'm the one that ended up forcing Charlotte to open up this portal in the first place. So if you have any of the blame, it is actually on me, not on you.
It was me who wanted to contact Cricket in the first place.
You
This is
didn't
all
know
my
this was going to
fault.
happen, though. None of us knew this was going to happen, dear. You took a chance, especially because you were worried about your friend. No one can blame you for that. Besides, it was appear sooner or later, whether it was Cricket himself that opened it up or you through him, this was unfortunately bound to happen.
Regardless if it did happen or not, we gotta keep moving forward.
As Charlotte said, besides, despite this rather grotesque picture, she says as she gives a weary look around their surroundings. At least everyone's alive.
That may be, but unless we find a way back home soon, we might not be alive for much longer.
Right. At any rate, Jezebel, you look really hurt. Are you really hurt?
Out of character. The fact that I only had 1 HP the last session.
You're
Okay, I
fine.
just wanted to check that that was still a thing. Okay, I'm
Yep.
gonna walk over and just slap a 3rd level cure wounds on her.
You literally slapped me.
That not literally slap.
Oh, okay, because
like,
Jezebel
you know,
was
just
going to give you such a heated glare.
Like, just pat her on the shoulder and just third level cure wounds.
She sighs, but then looks a little worried at some of the pain. She goes, "Thank you, though. Perhaps save some of your spells for dear Charlotte here. She, I think, the worst of it."
Is she okay?
Charlotte tries
On
to
the count.
stand and hobbles a little bit.
Only. Oh God.
What
That was a
with?
third level spell slot.
Continue, Charlotte.
Charlotte hobbles a bit and then uses Cicada as leverage as she stands. And though she's very small, she uses the second smallest thing around her.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of blood on her clothing.
Oof. Ow. Yeah, she
I'm
did get
sorry.
shot at too.
A lot of us seem to
Oh.
have it worse for wear, but we are alive.
Suppose the near-death experience gave me a little bit of wake-up call. Let's press on.
Okay.
Indeed. Jezebel now gives a long stare, because Cricket's still there, right? He hasn't moved.
No, he's just gone back to looking out over the landscape. The sky above is filled with mysterious floating things that are indescribable. You try to comprehend what they are and your brain just, it's like there's an absence of any answer in your head. The moment you try to conceive of what they are, your mind just goes blank and you forget what you were trying to do for a moment. Out in the distance, you can see these large, shambling creatures, too far out to make out any major details, but you can see that just from the way you can see them from this distance, they're probably each around the size of a skyscraper. Not that you'd know what a skyscraper is, but out of character, you know what a skyscraper is.
Ick.
This entire realm seems like one giant life form.
Cricket?
I mean, give it.
Cricket turns his head.
Where are we? Where are we?
He pauses for a moment, and then he opens his mouth, and then he closes it again, and finally he does speak. You're all injured. Such questions should really be saved for when you are not at death's door, but I suppose the best term for where we are would be a nursery.
Nursery.
A nursery.
So we're looking at babies off in the distance.
Not entirely.
What even are those things?
He pauses again and then says, I shall give more details once you have all rested. We must find somewhere somewhat safe to rest.
Know you of such a place?
He shakes his head.
No, great.
I don't even know if there is such a. I don't even know if there is such a place. Ace here, and everything looks like it could kill us if we're not careful.
Death would be
Then?
preferable to what other things might happen. All I will say is this. A cave is safer than being out in the open like this. even if it's only partially. And with that, I will bring you all to the world map. And you may, those of you who are queasy or sensitive to certain things, you may look back now. And Neku, you may log in.
That's why Neku wasn't logged in.
I'd also like to thank the artist, Pin, for helping with the creatures, and yeah, you can thank him for that mental image, those of you who saw it.
Thank you.
Thank you
but
wholeheartedly.
cool.
I thank the artist, and also and I will proceed to ask how much sleep did you lose?
Regardless,
Who knows?
you are now on the main map. This is as far as you can see.
I don't see anything.
Bottom right.
I see my own token, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't even see my token.
Yeah, I've been using, one second. Just a second.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, all I see is pitch black. Sorry.
Give me a second.
Okay, now I see stuff.
Give me a second. You should all be able to see now. In the bottom
We
right.
do.
There it is. There
Ooh.
it is.
Anyway, that's as far as you can see.
Okay.
I see some
imagine
mountains
even
off
with-
in the distance.
Yeah.
Where's Cricket?
I
Where did
guess-
Cricket go?
Cricket is there. Each one of those squares represents about a day's journey.
Oh.
Oh, great.
It's a big place, which is
Yikes.
accurate considering we're in a completely different dimension. So,
XXX. All right then. Jezebel, though slightly feeling more better, she sits up, gives a very deep sigh. She starts to look around. She goes, "Well, might as well take the advice you were given and look for a cave. Was it? And we really should get our bearings together."
By the way, DM,
Yeah?
is it warm or cold in this realm?
It is warm.
Okay.
I imagine it is
And-
uncomfortably warm.
It's the worst kind of warm. It's 100% humidity warm.
Uncomfortably
it's a good-
warm. Yeah.
Wow. Good thing I'm in this sleeveless uniform instead of my usual heavy overcoat. Then.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess our best bet for looking for our cave is looking over to these. I guess they're mountains. I don't know. This place is weird.
They look
I mean,
mountain-like, but they also could be like hairs. It's kind of hard to tell from this distance.
oh
My
god.
Well, despite the fact I'm still slightly hurt, I'm going to scout for a possible place for us to rest and that's safe enough, I guess, if any place is safe in this area.
So you spend 2 days heading towards the mountains?
The very questionable looking mountains.
Yeah, air quotes mountains.
Yeah.
Also, 2 days? Like, we're just gonna walk for 2 days?
I'm asking
I
if
thought we were
that's
going
your
to find-
goal.
Well, the goal I think is to go there, but for now I think we need a place to actually rest that's nearby.
Alright, roll perception.
Yeah, I guess I can roll perception too.
As can I.
Nope.
Please do, because yeah, my rolls are terrible.
Corax, you're pretty immune to the rather awful sight around you, and you're able to spot a rather questionable air quotes cave entrance that seems to have some teeth on the edges.
There it is. Okay,
However,
so
the teeth seem to be more like rocks than actual teeth. Like they are moving with the ground below you.
Ick.
so knowing our luck, we'd be headed down the throat of a giant monster if we went in here. But we don't really have any better options, do we?
We just need a place to temporarily recover for a bit, and then we can figure out next course of action.
Indeed.
Because
Yeah,
something
do you
tells
think
me
that
we're probably going to be stuck here for a while.
Cricket? Do you think that's safe?
Okay, well, I'm gonna answer the immediate question. I'm gonna pop a divine sense and just look at the cave.
That tells you if they're from heaven or hell, right?
Uh, it tells me if there are any celestials, fiends, or undead eh, within 60 feet of me.
So, I'm gonna need you to make a con save.
Oh God.
Oh
No.
God!
Here it goes.
20.
Ooh.
You manage to keep your dinner or lunch in your gut as you realize that you are standing on a giant undead.
I thought you said we weren't on the Black Sun.
We aren't. Cricket,
This whole place is a giant undead.
What?
Excuse me?
We are
Cricket,
standing on a giant undead monster.
How is that even possible?
I think we should question this a little bit later once we get to safety.
I
Maybe.
have, I can't tell you if that cave's gonna eat us or not. Unfortunately.
Hmm.
Fortunately, none of this place is going to be safe, so might as well choose the lesser evil.
Mm.
Rather be inside somewhere rather than out in the open and vulnerable.
Okay.
If this is supposed to be some titanic undead monster, then how big is the rest of the world?
I think the whole world might be it.
Cricket has already walked into the cave.
Okay,
I
I
follow
guess
with
that's
him,
standard.
sword drawn.
Okay.
Ordinary short sword, unfortunately. All my magic gear is kind of stowed in my bag.
Okay, I guess we're going in. For now.
You enter the cave and find that it's not really that large. Like, there's a small little area, but it's not outside. And perhaps that's better than nothing at all. I forgot to prepare this map. Shush.
Okay.
Shush.
For shame.
So,
Fucking.
so I'm grabbing Cricket's token now, but yeah, you all managed to settle down and at least sit.
Okay. I'm gonna dig my magic gear back out of my bag and just like put all that back on. I'm going to leave the drow uniform on though because frankly that's way more like that's something that shows something that I can sweat through and doesn't cover up too much is way more suited to this kind of environment.
Isabel still looks a little irritated, but she's like just staying quiet. But she does glance over to look over Takeda and Charlotte. She goes, "How are you doing, dears?"
Hmm. Well, since we're not out in the open anymore, I guess I'm a little better. But are you okay, Charlotte?
Everything hurts. I need to lay down for a bit.
So he turns to you all and then says, "The reason we need to be in a cave is because those creatures outside can sense movement.
Oh,
And if they sensed us out in the open, then they may come for us."
At least
Take it that's a bad thing then.
He breathes in and then he says, "Those creatures are called Amorphogolos.
oh.
Almost.
They
That just gives Cricket a look like continue.
are made from those who have been stepped on it. You can consider them hatchlings, if you will.
I guess it's best that we avoid them at all costs.
He nods. They are blind,
Then
like any hatchling, but they are hungry.
Oh.
so avoid at all costs. Noted. Question is though, can we actually beat them, or is it best to just run away?
It is best to run away.
Okay.
There's something I'm so tempted to try. It would be. I don't know if it would be a good idea or a bad one, but I'm so tempted to try it.
Try to share, dear.
Pulls out the medallion of the sun.
You still have that.
Yes,
how do you even know that? How do you even know that's gonna work here?
I have no idea if it's going to work here.
So you try and use it?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. The medallion of the sun makes like night and day, right? If I recall.
Yeah, it turns. Yeah, it turns day into night and night into day.
All right.
I don't even know if this place has a night and day cycle.
Let me just make a note of that really quick. Used night to day medal. Okay. Just needed to make note of that. Nothing. You feel the magic cast, but nothing happens.
Hmm.
Well, it was a
Well,
good thought, dear.
Best case scenario, it would have roasted every undead in this place.
how do we get back home?
Lovely question, Cricket. She glares at Cricket now.
Cricket looks to Jezebel and then says, "We don't."
What?
That's the wrong answer, Cricket.
You do realize, dear Cricket, that we can't stay here, right?
You have a higher chance than others who have wandered into this place. You have
Okay, but
a bag that produces infinite food, and even if you run out of water, you can use that bag of apples to make apple juice.
Jezebel holds up a hand. One moment, dear, one moment. I might be hearing you wrong. Are you suggesting that we live here?
It may take a long time for another portal to open.
is that well? Why don't you start by telling us more about this place, specifically if anyone intelligent lives here?
He hesitates for a moment and then he says, "This place is called." And as he speaks the name, you all feel a sudden sharp pain in your head, as if the very word he said caused you physical pain. You all take. I need you all to make a wisdom save or take 1 psychic damage. And you have no idea what he said.
I suck at wisdom. Yep.
Okay,
Charlotte,
what's the save?
Just 10.
Oh, and I don't take any damage.
You still feel a bit of pain. Just you don't take any damage from it.
just a migraine.
Poor Charlotte.
No, Charlotte.
Charlotte starts coughing out blood whenever that happens. I'm gonna milk this out as long as I can.
Charlotte just like
just imagine.
Charlotte just like break.
Just imagine.
Corax, 1 second. Charlotte just like breaks her leg and then limps onto the road and goes, Can I have $5 to buy a taxi to the hospital?"
Just imagine if. Just imagine if Korax hadn't popped that cure wounds on Jezebel before we said that.
I know, really. I would just flop dead on the ground.
Okay,
Jezebel
well,
holds her head and grimacing as she like gives a frustrated growl. She goes, "Oh, what was that?"
Oh, sorry.
perhaps you could write it down.
No, writing it down would have the same effects. We'll translate it into a language mortals can understand. He pauses for a long moment, and then he says, "This is the nest."
Oh, that's just peachy.
Considering everything we've seen, it's fitting.
This is the place I was born, and where we all were born. The creatures that you cannot describe, the creatures that terrify and horror, the patrons of warlocks, the elder gods. We all came from here.
And from here, do you have the capacity to reach out to anyone strong enough to open a portal on the material plane, perhaps?
He led us to the entrance, and then he says, "I shall try, but it may take time. And there are other matters that you must be made aware of.
Of course.
This place is not one that you can leave here unscathed.
Oh, great.
Those who remain here will slowly change. Those who remain long enough and survive long enough will become like the creatures out there.
Oh God, we're in the warp.
Oh no.
This Ryuj quickly he gets up and like, hold on. So not so not only do we have to wait for somebody to pull us from the pull us from our world to get out of here, but you're saying that we have a time limit. We have a limited amount of time for them to do so.
He shakes his head a bit. The time it would take to become like those creatures is far longer than your lifespans.
Far longer than mine.
Perhaps not.
Hmm.
But in the meantime, the process to become one of those creatures is not pleasant. You may grow teeth in places that you did not expect. You may start to feel mood changes and mood swings. You may begin drooling black goo, among other side effects. I would explain it in more detail, but the language causes your kind physical pain. So I will simply say, this place changes you and rebirths you as an elder god.
How long before we start seeing the effects?
It can vary. Days, months, years.
Do you think you could send a message back to Clara?
I I just I just tried getting in touch with Alex. I haven't heard back.
Well, I may have another idea. Oh God, it's not something I ever wanted to contemplate. That's. Were you there when we met that drow? That the one that the one that took that tiefling with him. What was his name? Nalas?
Us.
Oh,
No, the drow, not the tiefling.
Ah.
Are you
oh,
talking about Are you talking about the followers of Vierna?
Yes.
What about them?
You know sending, right?
I just I just said I tried to reach out to Alex. If I can't if if my link to him doesn't reach this far, then there's no way a ascending could.
Eh,
so no, he hasn't tried sending.
ascending almost always works across planes, and it could be worth a try. And I know Vienna's and I know there are at least some fielders of Vienna who have enough power, or to open this kind of portal. Maybe.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, so
Uh,
you're actually resorting to considering Vierna's help now?
I, in better the devil you know, as it were.
True.
Besides, pulls out Rimbane and looks at her. Still need to get this to her for whatever reason.
I guess. Well, at least we you have it. She'll want it. She'll want it, and she'll likely want it in exchange. All
All
right.
right.
Here go. Here. I'll try.
Yeah.
All right.
The
What do you
I-
say exactly?
Nahlis, it's Ryu. If you can hear me, we need yours or Vierna's help getting back to our world now.
All right. I've written it down, and I need you. No, no. I wrote that.
in
Okay.
secret.
Um. For now, you just have to wait.
Hmm.
I'd give it about a day.
Hey, hey. It's unlikely. It's unlikely they'd be. Portal magic is not an exact science. It's likely we're in for a trek no matter what.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help that I. It doesn't help that we don't know exactly where we are in relation to the other planes. They could be. They could be opening portal. They could be opening portals to different planes for months and still not find us.
We're not on another plane.
What?
We're inside a fracture.
Oh.
What?
This is inside a fracture. All this.
Not all fractures are friendly.
I thought I thought fractures were just. And I thought fractures just simply led to an alternate version of our world.
Which begs the question: will we find nest versions of ourselves here?
Probably not. They are likely long dead.
Or transformed?
Comforting.
Looks out at the opening.
We, elder gods that is, we make our nests in between realities. In fractures. This land we are standing on, well, he pauses for a moment and then looks out again. I suppose you could call it my mother.
Hmm.
So you were born here, and you took a fracture that sent you to our world.
Their portal opened. I happened to be in the area and I took the chance.
Is that when the black sun started appearing in our world?
He nods.
Drow have been trying. The Drow have been trying to pull in monsters from this place this whole time.
They are trying to recover their god.
Which could literally be anything.
So you said
To
that this is inside a fracture. Does that mean Charlotte could get us out of here at any time?
He shrugs. I don't know.
Hmm. I mean, she's in no condition to do that right now.
I need a
I'm
rest.
not saying right now. But if we can hold out long enough for her to recover.
Hmm. Guess we can try if Charlotte's okay with it.
as long as she is okay with it, but also as long as there's not a risk to her for doing so.
There will likely be a risk.
As I
Damn it.
thought.
There's always something.
Opening fractures from your reality is a lot more stable than opening them in between realities. Opening a fracture to a fracture often destroys both in the process. We may end up
So-
somewhere nicer. We may end up somewhere worse. We may end up destroying both fractures and ourselves.
Comforting. Jezebel says, rolling her eyes and then shaking her head, is exasperated. You want to give us any good news, dear Cricket?
We're still alive.
Besides that, we already established that. Thank you very much.
So the only way we could get back to our world safely is if someone opened up a fracture from their side.
Correct. He looks back to Jezebel and he says, "You got food and water, so you won't have to risk drinking the food and water of this place." Which will slow the process and prevent you from becoming one of the creatures that wanders this place. At least for a time. Sorry.
And I can create food and water myself. It'll be bland, but it'll keep us alive.
Isabel sighs deeply as she rolls her head a little bit. She goes, at least until we can find a way to get back. Knowing, she pauses for a second. She goes, my father, as well as perhaps a couple of people that still know us, including the fact that dear Clara is absent at the moment. There has to be a way for us to be able to return. We just have to hold off until we figure it out.
Hold on. Couldn't Clara's parent weren't Clara's didn't Clara's parents say they could open fractures?
So they claim.
There's no
Maybe you could
there's no way Clara isn't and trying there's no way Clara isn't begging them to try and get us back right now.
Right. But I suppose it couldn't hurt to send them a message too.
To ensure them that we are indeed still alive.
Just stuck.
So unfortunately, it seems the only thing we can do for the moment is survive.
And keep moving, I guess. Cricket, why did you want to come back here?
I didn't.
Do you know what made you come back here?
The Elder God's Lullaby. It is a song that only certain creatures can learn. And it is especially effective in nests like this one. Any creature on this plane, on this place, that hears that song will be drawn and lulled to be passive. It is how we are kept quiet while we are growing.
able to learn it. I mean, I could mimic it, but I'm not sure if it's something I could replicate properly.
Have you ever wondered what Chlora is?
She's a Vulpin.
Is she? He turns away at that.
Huh?
Are you implying she's an elder god?
No. If she was an elder god, she wouldn't be able to learn the song.
Interesting. Just what she says, looking kind of curious now.
Just what kind of creatures are able to learn this song under normal circumstances?
He doesn't respond.
There lies in the question, don't you think, dear Foxy? She says with a small teasing smirk. She isn't normal.
And she doesn't even know it.
Well, we
Well,
we better rest up for today.
indeed, we have a long way ahead of us, and we can only hope and pray that our dear friend Cora, in her unique situation, finds a way to help us get out of here.
You still need to send her a message though, at some point. Sooner rather than later.
I can I can try at least one more time, but then before I have to rest.
Okay.
Athena Gold Girl.
I'm sorry, what?
He glances back. What?
You said it. You said something, I didn't catch it.
Don't worry about it. He turns back to look at the entrance.
I meant for that to be out of character, but okay.
Gold Gale, I think he said.
I got that part.
Isabel frowns at Cricket's back now at the some of that she heard, but then just shakes her head and then starts to try to get somewhat comfortable against Cicada and starts to try to fall asleep.
Chlora, it's Ryu. Cricket said we're inside a fracture. Your parents should be able to get your parents might be able to get us back home. But I can't, but there's no guarantees.
Laura, it's for you. We're inside a fracture. What was the rest?
I was gonna say, could I have that as text?
I'm typing it out, Laura, don't worry.
Okay.
We are inside a fracture. Your parents might be able to get us out, but there's no guarantee.
Might be able to get us out, but there is no. Alright, I've got it written down. So, do you all settle down to rest?
I do not yet.
Okay.
As people are sitting down, okay. As people are sitting down, Charlotte would sit up and she would reach out and try to enable her circuits again to see what would happen if she attempt to make a portal. She's not gonna make one yet, but she's trying to see if she's able to.
You call upon the energy, and you feel it responding as normal. You are able to make portals.
Charlotte looks at the glowing blue lines on her hands and then lowers them once more and goes back to lay down.
All right. With Cricket watching over you, you all get a long rest. You all spend time going over the world events that happened. Everything just a whirlwind of information. But eventually, you all do find sleep. Except for Corax, naturally. But those of you who do sleep, you begin to have nightmares. You see yourself with long claws, unhinged jaws, fangs, wild eyes. You look positively monstrous. You honestly don't know if they'd even be considered humanoid anymore. You all wake up. As for you, Corax, your nose was itchy. You scratched it. You all wake up.
Everyone got their stuff back.
That was a rough night, but I suppose it could have been worse.
Could have been worse.
Bloodied, at least I feel better now.
Are you
Indeed.
okay to walk?
Yeah, I should be able to.
Okay.
So far,
Jezebel sighs as she rolls her neck again and she goes, so, I guess the question is, do we keep moving or do we remain?
It sounds like moving around isn't gonna get us anywhere.
It's hard to tell what'll happen if we stay here, though.
someone is watching us.
You? Jezebel says with a bit of a snarky tone.
No.
Oh. Then we should keep moving.
Cricket, what are the chances that something could stumble upon this cave on their own?
80%.
Then we do have to keep moving.
And a 10% chance the cave just eats us.
Oh.
That would have been nice to know a lot sooner.
Yeah, we should leave.
Yes, your decision has been made.
You all step out of the cave, and you're all briefly alarmed as you see that one of the giant creatures had in fact gotten closer. Not too close, but they've definitely started coming this way.
Uh-oh.
Alright then, brisk walk then. Let's go.
Okay.
As you are traveling, the mountains slowly get closer and closer. But the amount of cover you have also gets further and further away. And by the time you've been walking for, say, 10, 15 hours, there's no cover around. You can look for somewhere to make camp or keep going.
I don't like
I say
being
we
out
make.
in the open like this.
Charlotte?
There's no day or night cycle, so we can see everything fine, right?
It's just straight, flat, same color.
I say it'll be smarter to make camp for now.
Damn it.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I don't like this.
None of
I
us
think
do,
any of us
dear.
do.
Indeed. But we have to make do with what we're given. The fact of the matter, like I said, that as we said, we are alive and we have to maintain that way until we find a way to get out of here. I'm not planning on dying in a forsaken place like this.
Then exhausting ourselves will be pointless, especially when we have an open view of everything. No cover, but also means no cover for them either.
And we'll see them coming.
Cricket, are there any smaller creatures that could get the jump on us?
There is a creature that can hide in plain sight. It has fur and skin perfectly patterned to allow it to blend into the surroundings.
As if this couldn't get any worse.
So, you all settle down and make camp?
I guess, but people are going to have to take watch.
Sure, who's taking watch?
I'll take
I'll
watch.
take watch. Oh, okay.
Alright, who's taking second watch?
I'll take second watch.
Alright, those of you on first watch, roll perception.
And we're gonna add a +3 to that.
Okay. Charlotte. Well, Corax is just doing his basic, meditate and keep watch sort of deal. You look around carefully. And it's because you were looking around carefully that you spot a brief glimpse of something black that ducks into one of the pitch black bushes that surround your area. I'm drawing it right now. Give me a second.
Okay.
Like, the area you're in currently has these, very low, just black bushes in places. Not too common, but they're around. And you saw it dart into this one over here.
Point it to me one more time. I was zoomed in.
The southeast one.
I got it. Okay. So, in response to the object of some kind darting into the bush, Charlotte will summon her cannon and then shouts out loud as if to alarm everyone.
And sword out.
You
Is it
all,
my watch yet?
you all come to, and you're all pretty prepared and alarmed. And then you hear a voice echo out. Oh, I'm friendly. I'm friendly. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
Huh? That? What is that?
You see a head poke out, and it looks to be a Kenku.
What?
What?
Out of the bush now.
Of course. Just don't shoot.
Cicada just stares
As it
at the Kenku.
As it comes out of the bush, you're able to take in his monstrous appearance. Double sets of claws have grown out of his hands and his feet. His clothes are tattered and worn. And there's a white pupilless gaze to it.
Agree. Friend?
And there's her.
He repeats this phrase back. Friend?
Two Kenkus, oh boy.
Who are you?
Scree. Scree is me. You notice that he's able to speak quite fluently. Though he does still mimic sometimes.
And why are you here?
Why? You all appeared out of nowhere. I was just following you.
Oh, that makes
And
sense.
why are you following us?
Because you appeared out of nowhere.
This place is scary.
I was curious. I thought, he pauses a bit and then looks away and he says, I thought you might have been an easy meal. And then I got curious.
What?
I mean, you gotta take fresh food when it comes. I'm not going to eat you now. I know you're intelligent, but yeah, I thought you might have been like, what's that thing called? The fluffy thing with the ears and the round bunny.
Honey.
Yeah, that's the one.
Jezebel, Jezebel sneakers and gives a side glance to Charlotte.
Charlotte's already charging the cannon, priming it.
He gives a scream. He goes,
Hold on. And Cicada is going to pull a couple of apples from her bag and carefully offer them to Scree.
his eyes widen, and for a brief moment, in a terrifying charge, he dashes right for you, and his claws come out and he grabs them and then begins wolfing them down. Oh no.
Okay.
Jezebel rushes over to Cicada, grabs her arm, and pulls her back a bit. She goes, "Okay, personal space, dear."
Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't actually eaten in weeks.
Either way, it's impolite to grab
She offered it though.
and rush people.
He just looks at you all confused. And then he goes, right?
I'm sure it's fine. We have more. We have an unlimited supply of apples.
I mean, if you give me, I'd be open to trade. I know where a town is.
There's a town.
Well,
You're kidding.
He pauses and then goes, and then pulls up air quotes and goes, town.
Oh,
Uh,
there's
serious.
more.
It's not really got people in it. It's just some old buildings.
Oh,
So it's
another
abandoned.
bit.
Sorry, Corax?
Nothing.
Is it safe?
I mean, he pauses and just stares at you like you're like you're an alien.
Eh. Is it less dangerous over there than it is here?
He stares at you and then goes, "All right."
How did you even end up in this world in the first place?
Oh, well, I made a pact with this patron, and well, we traded places.
Oh,
So you're a warlock.
Well, I was at one point. If I'm honest, the only reason I've survived this long is because of it. But well, I mean, I've been going through some changes, and oh, like I said, I don't. You got to take food when you can find it, and I haven't really got access to a very secure water source, so I mean, I might have drunk a bit of blood.
oh, yeah, that'll do it.
I mean, it's a liquid, and well, there's not really a lot of liquids in this place.
Hmm.
Isabel puts a hand on her hip as she gives a skeptical look as she goes, thing is there that if we do trade so far with you, you're not going to just assume you can just eat us whenever you want, are you?
Oh no! Scree is a good bird. Scree is loyal. Scree always keeps his word.
We have unlimited apples, so you'll never go hungry again.
Well, I mean, eventually you, I'm assuming you guys planning on leaving. Yes, you. How about? Would you be open to taking me with you?
We'll
I
look
might have
over the cricket.
I might have overheard your conversation, and well, you know, yeah, it'd be nice to be not in here, in this place.
Takeda glances over back to Cricket for reassurance.
Cricket's, I mean, Charlotte's doing the same to a degree, but she's doing it for a different reason.
Cricket shrugs.
I guess you could come with us.
Then then that makes us partners. You help me, and I'll help you. Maybe
Birds of a feather.
birds of a feather flock together. He says in a
Yeah,
very he mimics an old saying, old voice.
yeah.
Isabel sighs and then she'll lean close to Cicada and whisper, Cicada dear, I understand you want to give them benefit of the doubt, but please have at least some caution.
Okay.
I know you
Charlotte's
want to
gonna
be sympathetic
Little.
for him, but he has been here for a long time. We need to make sure he doesn't have any hidden agendas.
Okay. He does look a little uh changed,
What
abnormal.
what were you going to say, Charlotte?
Charlotte's gonna walk next to Cricket, away from the group in particular, and she's just gonna ask him a question. Was that your old patron?
Um, he sort of he sort of narrows his eyes for a moment, and then he says, "I don't know."
Hmm.
Um, You have the impression Cricket really doesn't remember them, but he's also well aware that it might have been his patron. Like, you get the sense there is some level of uncertainty in Cricket. Like, he's not sure.
Okay.
The thing is, Cricket is in a completely different form now, so
Yeah, that's why I was checking.
well,
Charlotte just sighs and walks back to where her turret is.
Uh, well,
okay.
can I have more, please?
Sure.
You see him immediately dig in like a ravenous dog.
Oh.
Hmm. I suppose this means we now have a temporary or possible future new ally.
I guess. For now, at least.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to have somewhat of a guide, I suppose, if you can even call him that. He has been here quite a while, so at least he can show us the ropes, so to say.
Oh
Okay, you're
yes.
taking second watch.
Oh, right. Okay.
He looks around and then he says, "Oh, so if we're going to go through the mountains, you should be careful. That's man territory."
Excuse me?
And
Oh, well, you they're not really men or anything, but they kind of look like men, so we just call them men. You know, they're very hungry men, so starved men. They're hungry.
starving men. Okay.
We would probably have to go right through them to get to the town, but I mean, you can't really avoid them. They're everywhere.
Oh,
They are
okay.
they're kind of like food for the big guys.
Oh,
Oh.
So
we should.
like they're probably why the big guys coming this direction. They tend to follow the herds.
Oh, that's why.
Jezebel. Jezebel looks really disturbed as she goes, "Oh God." Right then, noted.
Watch out for
Can
their
I see anything
tongues.
coming this way, by the way?
While you guys have been talking, yeah, the tall monstrosity that Cricket pointed out has been getting very close. Like it's still a ways away, but by this point it's nearly reaching the sky, but from your perspective.
We
Oh,
can't stay here.
yeah, we should probably leave.
Did not. Very well then.
Um,
Scree. Scree, excuse me.
Scree, yes, yes.
Why don't you lead the way for a bit, away from that thing that's coming this way, into a more safer place?
I mean, there's no
I
right.
know a lot.
I think you have some misconceptions about this place. There's not really anywhere that's safe. There's only just places that you have a less chance of dying.
Yeah.
Then less chance of dying. We'll take that.
All right. To the mountains we go then.
Okay.
And so you will follow him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We don't have
mean,
any other choice.
It's the only lead we have. So.
he leads you for a bit, but eventually he slows to a stop. And by this point, it's been like say 3 or 4 hours since you got moving. and he points to some trees that have skulls in them, and then he says, yeah, this is probably where they are. The men. They really like hanging around these trees because they can drain the blood from the roots.
Weird.
Hmm.
Eh.
I mean,
Oh, wonderful.
and I will move you all over to the map. Oops.
Okay,
Map.
so we're gonna have to sneak through this forest, huh?
I mean, it's not really a forest, but no matter what way we go, we're going to run into them. So this is the shortest route to the mountains. And as you all rise up and look over the small hill, you are able to see the creatures. 4 of them currently devouring a 5th creature that appears to have died, and they're currently eating it.
Oh, the
You
heck are
are
those?
you're
This
able
is
to
kind of interesting. We'll get back to that later.
you're able to take them in their full glory. They walk around on all fours and appear to have no eyes.
Are they blind?
I mean, most creatures here are blind. Actually, they mostly rely on sound because, well, I don't really understand it entirely, but they're like babies or something.
Oh,
Developing babies. Charming. Ew, gross. That's out of character, by the way.
Wonder if we can use that to our advantage.
we need to be quiet and try to sneak around them.
I could I could use thaumaturgy to lead them away from us.
And and I have hold reliable right here.
Okay,
You
that
know,
works.
I mean, I will mention this. There are not their greatest strength is well their numbers. Like if you find one alone, you could pretty much take care of it. But when they're in the group like this, that's when you gotta be careful.
Then sneaking around is the way we're gonna have to go then.
Incidentally, by the way, DM, this is just some idle curiosity on my part. This smashed up cart, does it look like there's anything on it?
Um, there is not.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, it's been ransacked from the looks of it.
Anything that was on there has likely been eaten.
Hmm.
We need to very, very carefully sneak around them without being detected.
Well,
Yay.
I cast Pass Without a Trace.
So, I need you all to make me a stealth check.
26. 35.
They're also
23.
35.
Yeah, okay.
Yay.
Fortunately for you, the ones on the road seem to be fairly focused on the carcass, and the ones currently hidden in the bones and the mushy grass all seem to be asleep. You managed to get past without any issues.
Thank God.
And
Hooray. Del.
and with that, you are able to view a little more of the world.
It's
Oh
going to be a
boy.
temper. I fully expect we're going to have a fight of some kind before we get out of this place.
You make it to the mountains, and by this point, the creature that was in the distance has that's a bit too big. Has now become visible. It's still a little ways away, but with the distance it's traveling, you expect it to catch up within about a day.
Does it
But
look
it's
like it's
probably
going?
gonna get.
Does it look like it's going for anything in particular?
It looks like it's heading directly for the group. It looks like it's heading directly in your direction. Like it covers
It's
such a
probably.
large area.
Yeah.
All you can tell is that
It's
it's
probably.
going. Sorry.
It's probably gonna get stopped by the starving men. So.
I think it's going after the starving men. They did say,
Yeah.
Scree did say that that's basically its food, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I suggest we get away from the starving men as quickly as possible.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to go a different direction entirely. Just if it's coming if it's making a straight line here.
Oh,
True.
where we're going will be okay. Again, we won't be bothered by the big guys. They actually can't get into caves and that. So as long as they don't see you go into them and you're relatively quiet, they will normally leave you alone.
I
We'll
guess that's fair.
we'll just have to wait out there him being here and wait for him to at least move a little bit away.
Well, good chance to practice patience then, once we find a good place to hide.
Okay.
So I suppose I should probably well let you guys know so you don't get scared during a fight. That there's something I haven't exactly told you.
Oh. And what's that?
Well, and he pauses and then says, "Now, please promise you won't shoot me for this."
Eh,
Depends, dear, on what it is you're going to tell us.
okay.
Mm, he seems really unsure about this, but he breathes in and he just says, "Well, my mouth goes all the way out like, well, this."
Uh, there it is. Yeah, that's. There it is.
Jezebel looks a
Just so you.
little disturbed, a slight
Just.
like shiver going down her back, and she just goes, "Okay, noted."
He closes his mouth.
Okay. Oh
Um,
boy.
yeah, I just thought you should know because yeah, it's probably going to alarm you if it happens. I mean,
Uh,
yeah, I my mouth kind of goes all the way down my neck.
oh, it's worse than I
I
thought.
I appreciate the consideration.
Yeah, out of character, just so you guys know. That design was inspired by Resident Evil and Metroid Dread.
I knew it. The liquors.
As well as the Chozo
Ex-
zombies.
the ex parasite infected Chozo.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways, Cicada is mildly disturbed, but she gets over it. She has seen worse.
My jaw started getting, well, about a week after I ended up here, my jaw started to get itchy, and then, well,
Yeah.
it kept getting itchier, and I just kept scratching and scratching, and
Oh,
next thing I
bad.
next thing I knew, my mouth kind of just became like this.
That's horrible.
A week.
It started around a week. I mean, I kind of lost track of the days after a bit.
Oh,
Makes sense.
oh dear. We really need to leave this place.
Was that
Otherwise we're gonna end up with this.
was that a little too graphic? It might have been a bit too graphic.
No,
Sorry.
no, it's fine. You're okay.
That's hardly. I think that's hardly the worst thing we've seen so far.
Um, regardless, he brings you towards a cave, and then he says, "This cave also has teeth, by the way, though it goes a little deeper." And he says, we should be okay here for at least a day or two."
A day at most. Guess we need to keep moving.
Good enough then.
We have to be careful moving around while those things in the air.
Yeah.
They're pretty fast.
Then
Boy.
we'll make sure to avoid them as best as possible.
Regardless, you all settle in to your next cave. Yeah, please don't make jokes like that, Ryu. Anyway, you guys resting? What do you do?
Yeah. Hmm. Cicada is going to try and bond with Scree a little bit.
So,
Do you remember what your old life was like before this?
well, my family all died in a fire, and well, I I kind of had no one, and then a voice offered to help me survive in return for doing them a favor, so I took the offer, and now I'm here.
Oh, oh, I could have had it much worse. It was kind of the same thing for me, except it wasn't a fire, it was like an undead apocalypse.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe, maybe we can be patron buddies.
Sure.
Did you go Pact of the, Tome too?
Yeah, I did.
Would you, I can share some of my spells with you if you want.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I can't. My spell book, fell to dust.
Oh,
I
that
really,
kinda sucks.
yeah, I really don't know how long I've been here. I mean, you gotta count the days by the sleeps, you know?
Oh. Well, I can show you some of my spells.
Sure. Maybe I can, tell you which ones I had.
Yeah, I bet you had fly too.
Yes. He gives it.
Yeah.
He looks down with a sheepish look.
course, for Kenkus, we need the fly spell.
I still feel I'm still grateful to my patron. I mean, I ended up here, but I mean, for what help he did give, I had a far better life than I would have otherwise. Corax, you got your beeps on.
No, I misclicked. I didn't. I misclicked the thing.
Okay.
Whoops. Anyways, what were you saying?
Um, for all the I mean, I know I ended up here, but the time that I was in the other in my home plane thing, um, I had a good life, you know. I got friends. I had money. I was able to get by.
Yeah, I was pretty young when I lost my old home, but I was still able to get by pretty well with what I had and what I currently have. So for two are all of our friends and cricket.
Yeah. I was pretty young too. Like I don't really remember my parents or the hometown where I grew up.
Yeah, me too. It's weird. It's like all warlocks seem to forget their hometown or something.
Oh, I hope that at least one will look with a good family.
Yeah, I hope so too.
They say with
I
Jezebel
imagine.
right behind them.
I imagine it's just we're just gonna keep talking like this for a while. So
What about the rest of you? Charlotte?
I'm sorry. Uh, I forgot.
so
I'm not sure
sure, we'll
what
come back to you.
I'm not sure what you forgot. I was just asking if there was anything you wanted to do. But no.
There was, but I forgot.
Well, if you remember, just let me know. Corax?
I find somewhere that's mildly private, and I start thoroughly examining myself for any signs of corruption,
Well,
like any signs of mutation or anything like that.
I'll
Like
say this right.
I'm going to be doing this every day for as long as we're here.
I'll say this right now for all of you. How slow, how fast, if you get any or if you get none, is entirely up to you. You may make wisdom saving throws if you want. You may just decide you get it or don't get it. I'm leaving it entirely up in your hands.
Okay. Well, considering Cicada was once almost corrupted by demonic energy, I imagine that's eventually gonna resurface. So yeah, I'm fine for today.
Hmm. I have an idea. I have an idea how it would manifest, but I think I'll leave the specifics in your hands.
Regardless, just let me
Okay.
know. Just let me know after the game and I'll see about what I can do. Jezebel, is there anything you would like to do?
Not really. She's kind of just sitting, resting, but she's also like eyeballing Scree very carefully while he's with Cicada, making sure he's not going to try anything sketchy.
Alright.
I mean, she is feeding him apples.
What is he, a horse? Alright, Ryu, what about you? Is there anything you would like to do?
He's he's pretty much just pay, stay, uh, paying attention for if anybody gets back to him with from his sendings.
All right,
I remember.
go for it.
Charlotte's gonna sit down and she's gonna start tinkering with some tools again, looking rather focused. That's all I want to say.
All right. So, that night, while most of you were dreaming of nightmares, Charlotte, you have another dream with the white rabbit. This time, they simply look at you, and you get the impression they're waiting for your response.
Charlotte looks over to the rabbit in question. How are you alive? Are you alive?
Do you even remember who you were?
That's all you say to me.
What did Charlotte like to do? When was the last time you did something you used to enjoy? Or are you just doing things that I would do? How much of you is you? How much of you is me?
I'm just trying to survive and make sure people are alive.
There's being alive, and then there's living. Borax, you're not muted.
Sorry.
I don't remember.
The beginning is the end, and the end is the beginning.
Where does it start?
Where does it end?
Charlotte starts to fall silent.
You are a fracture. But you are also whole. Who is Charlotte?
The memories of Charlotte rises in her head of her past life, and she just looks confused. She's not sure whose memories they are anymore. She just looks confused.
Nothing is black and white. Were you really an upstanding captain? Did your crew really like you? How much of you is you? How much of me is me?
Of course they liked me. I did what I could.
Did you? Or did I do what I could? Who are you, Charlotte? The figure begins to fade away, with that last phrase hanging in the air. Who are you? You wake up.
Charlotte wakes up with tears stinging her eyes, and she looks around, seeing where she's at again.
Charlotte,
Are
are you
you alright?
okay?
Who?
What? Your name?
What?
And that
Charlotte.
is where we will wrap this session up.
What?
Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all next time. I hope you enjoyed the new little banner of the new overlay we've got. I worked hard on it. And yeah, tune in on, I believe it's Wednesday, where we'll be doing Team B, aka Clara's Fantabulous Adventures.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Usually Tuesday in my time zone.
Tuesday, Wednesday. So Tuesday, I think we said 10 p.m. EST.
Was like, let me check.
We'll figure it out. Either way, it'll be coming. Okay. Bye-bye.
Let me put it this way: if it's 2 hours and 30 minutes after when Deviants of Chaos would start.
Either way.